Shalom. All praises, glories, and honor be unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honors unto the apostles of GMS, the true leaders and elders of Yasharala today. That would be translation to Israel on earth today. You know, salutations to the elders and salutations to the Akim on the four corners of the earth that are pushing this truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so. All right, because we're entering into a very dangerous time for Jacob. The time of Jacob's trouble is upon us. Prophecies are coming true, and and Esau is going to make a move. So once again, I'm going to say all praises, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, and he's going to use propaganda and lies and slander to try and destroy the children of Israel. And he's already started. What he has been doing. I've watched a bunch of brothers' videos over the last couple of days, and as I was putting this together, it's like in the spirit, it's like they were in my head, because they were, the brother Yashawamba, he went in, the brother Ariala, the brothers from the elder brothers from the Dallas camp, Elder Ricard Apostle Elder Ricard did a excellent video on about how we got to be like hardened like soldiers, man. And it was an excellent video, and it touched on a lot of things that we're going to face and how we need to be spiritually going into this time we're about to go into, man. All right, and then also it was a video that I enjoyed from the brother Fear the Most High from the London camp, man. But this whole slander thing is nothing new. And now what they're doing is they're trying to, not only are they trying to make the face of terror changing from Arab to brown, to so-called black people, Hispanic people, because those have been the latest faces of terror. But they're also trying to put a spin on the Israelite thing. And then, as the brother pointed out, you camps who have made these alliances and did interviews with these organizations, going out to the Million Man March and dealing with Black Matters, we curse out and put curses on them and tell them how wicked they are when they approach a GMS camp. But you brothers want to sit down and do interviews, and basically you've incriminated all of Israel and yourself as a result of that. Okay, because the latest video with the one that had the three celebrities in it, Tyrese and what was that, and David Banner and the other guy, they're arguing about shooting at the police, and one brother saying no. I believe it was the other brother saying no to it, and the other rapper, I think his name was Genesis, whoever the hell he is, he's wearing the shield of David as he's saying take up arms against the law enforcement of America and anyone, and so that's just, and you idiots out there. If you're paying attention, if you're really listening to the message of the Hebrew Israelites, man, the message is that you cannot do nothing on your own. You got to wait for the Lord, man. And it's all set up because any man who is claiming to be an Israelite, he's going to claim and represent the sect that he is from. Okay? And so this guy out of nowhere, is on stage. It was totally set up, man. But people are going to fall for it and believe it. But, the Lord is going to fight for us and defend us and give us the words, put the words in our mouth to say when that time comes. And this is nothing new. Nero was one of the early examples. I wrote down a couple notes, man, because I was doing some research. And this is about Nero. Okay? And it says, one of the earliest examples of a false flag event, according to Tacitus, a scribe that I mention all the time, because Tacitus also wrote, too, how the inhabitants of Britain were all brown-skinned, black-skinned men when he arrived there. Keep that in mind, all right? But it said Nero, he targeted the Christians as those who were responsible for the Great Fire of Rome in 64 A.D., all right? And supposedly this fire started in a circus, and it destroyed 10 out of 14 districts in Rome, all right? And and then it says, and then that's just a wicked thing. And of course, you know what? Let me get a scripture that popped in my head. And then from there, they were able to start their campaign, because that was in 64 BC. So then we know what happened. 64 AD, Salakia. So we know what happened in 70 AD. All right. So it was a build up to that. And that's how Esau operates. He does things in increments. Okay. But let me grab Isaiah real quick. 33 and 1. Because it, 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be a spoil. When thou shalt make it end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So that's what's going to happen to you Edomites, man. All right, that's exactly what's going to happen to you when you've dealt treacherously over and over again. So that was one of the first recorded incidences. Okay, now I give you another example, man. Something that really happened, because Edomites would dress up like Native Americans and then would attack settlements, and it would give them an excuse to go in and exterminate and remove villages. Man, they did this sort of thing. And in the movie The Lone Ranger, they gave you a perfect account of that, an example of that, because the tribe that Tonto, which is the character, was played by Johnny Depp, which is actually quite aggravating to me, because you have plenty of even though they did have Gadites in the movies as extras, there are plenty of Gadites who could have played that role, man. But yet they're gonna let a white man, just proving the point, dress up like a Gadite. Okay, but his village, there was plenty of silver, and they also were trying to build a railroad, and the railroad was going through that village. So not only were they going to make money off the railroad, coveting someone else's lands, they also wanted all the silver. So there was like a couple different deals going on in that movie, man. And his tribe was in the way, and he witnessed the extermination, the genocide of his people, man. And he was one of the few people of his tribe that was left. And that sort of thing happened quite often with the so-called white man. All right. And they don't like it when you bring up that history, which also is matching up to prophecy about, because first I started this off speaking about the southern kingdom, and now we're talking about the northern kingdom, which is probably going to be my next sit down. I'm going to go back into that Jeremiah 50 and 33. Okay. Yeah, so his actions incited military action against the Gadites, man. So let me get a quick scripture, man. This is Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings and injuries and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another, and that is one of the ways the so-called white man got America, both northern and southern kingdom. All right, he got their land in that matter, man. All right, by stealing, murdering, raping, and committing genocide, and then enslaving, and then enslavement as well, because both northern and southern kingdom were put on slave ships and sold to the four corners of the earth as a result of that. Matching biblical prophecy, and that never happened to any Edomites on that scale, man. If you Google. If you look up Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, 48th verse, the 68th verse, two of the key verses in the curses, and slaves with yokes of iron on their neck, you're never going to see white people with yokes of iron on their neck, except maybe in the movie Planet of the Apes, which actually is a play on the future, making the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans apes and the so-called white man in change, which is going to happen. That's scriptural. That's prophecy, whether you like it or not. Okay. And if you Google slavery into ships, the first things that are going to show up is the transatlantic slave trade. With the transatlantic slave trade, and the transatlantic slave trade started with Christopher Columbus sailing, man. And the first slaves came from Portugal and Spain, which were so-called Negroes. But then the trade actually got started, taking natives out of America back over to Europe, man. Seville, Spain became the reverse slave capital of the world. But moving on, staying in the lesson, I don't want to get off. There's another good example in the first season of Hell on Wheels. There was a character called Pawnee Killer. All right, he was a Cheyenne warrior, and that's what they call him. His brother was Joseph Black Moon, And Joseph was your typical sellout. Wanted to be up under the white man, embraced Cesare Borgia and the white man's Christianity. Meanwhile, they were still in his people land, and his brother was in the right mind, because his brother was all about killing the so-called white man, driving them off his land, and collecting their scalps. And there's a scene where Pawnee Warrior and his men destroyed a wagon train and killed all the inhabitants, and then the so-called white man came on the scene, the one who was over the construction of the railroads, and he butchered the bodies even furthermore and took arrows and stuck them in women, and just did things. He tampered with the crime scene, and then had the guy take pictures and draw pictures of it, and then write a story to make it so much more brutal. All of it was to incite more violence from the military against the inhabitants thereof, which was our brothers, the Gadites, man, which is the same thing they're going to do with Black Lives Matter. Because then not only are they just they're going to come against the Israelites, but they're coming after all you jakes, man. But see, the difference being is that the men who are doing this work in truth and sincerity are going to have a covering when those days have to come. And you let me just say it, you niggas, you black conscious people, you Baptist people, you black people, there is no land of black or no race of black. If you still stupid enough to be stuck on that, man, you deserve whatever's coming to you, man. You brothers in the nation of Islam. All right, you Masons, whatever, you all in your fraternities and stuff. That is not the truth, and that is not going to save you coming back to your nationality of being a Hebrew Israelite, not a black Hebrew Israelite or Hispanic Hebrew, is a Hebrew Israelite. Okay, all those extra bywords is propaganda by the so-called white man who was Esau Edom, man. Okay, let me get another scripture. This is go to the book of Numbers. The 35th chapter, the 33rd verse, man. Scripture that all brothers know. Or is it 35? Salakia, 35 and 33. Okay? Let me just put my little highlight on that, because that's the scripture I get. If I can find it that much faster. Brothers got to be quick on the draw when you're out there swinging your swords, man. Right? How willing Jeremiah 16:16 come. And we'll be swinging swords for real. How willing. But not before, when the Lord returns and makes it known. Okay? That is the message. This is Numbers 35 and 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Okay? So when you start dealing with prophecies and who fits what prophecies, the natives didn't shed blood. Their blood was shed. So they shed blood black in retaliation, but their blood was shed and their land was taken. And their brethren were forced, and their blood was shed and forced to work the land. And then there's a people who got rich as a result of that. So their blood must be shed, man. So if you are the children of those people, the Lord deals with nations, man. Okay? Point blank and simple. Every Egyptian wasn't oppressing the children of Israel, but yet all the Egyptians suffered. Okay? I'm sure every Philistine wasn't willing and wanted to fight the Israelites, but they all went down. Okay? And the Egyptians are no longer in the land of Egypt, and the Philistines are no longer in the land of Egypt, man. The Lord deals with nations, man. Point blank and period. Okay? Every Israelite wasn't breaking the law, statutes, and commandments, but the whole race went into captivity, man. They all paid for it. So what makes you think that a few Edomites, a few Ammonites, and a few Moabites, a few heathens are going to actually get to be hand in hand with you in the kingdom? Let me make this clear, man. Everybody's going to the kingdom. Everybody is going to the kingdom. But there's only going to be one ruling class people. And it will not be the heathens, man. Only the sons of Jacob, who are the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And, of course, the scattered confusion of faith is scattered among the heathen, man. Outside of that, you people, you're going into slavery, man. All right. Now this next thing, man, that's all over social media, just to show you how how this latest thing, this Black Lives Matters with this false flag event that happened in Texas. And it's funny how Craigslist had put out an ad for crisis actors in the Texas area about 3 weeks prior to that, and it also said that you had to sign. And if any brother can find that, please post it. All right, any brother who has that, those research skills, if you can find that before they try to delete it and get rid of it, if anyone can get a hold of the Craigslist that talks about the crisis actors, please get it and post it, man. All right, we gotta be smart. We have to be intelligent. We have to beat Esau at his own game, man. We're gonna expose the hell out these damn devils. Okay, this is why they hate us so much, because we're the real threat. It isn't Farrakhan and his men. It isn't the Black Boule and his men. It isn't the so-called Black Panthers. All those were set up by the so-called white man. Do your research, man. Egyptology, when you go back to the sources of the beginning of those, it was always at the hands of heathens. The same heathens that are listed in Psalms, the 83rd chapter, man, who are the enemies of Israel, the enemy of Yahweh Shah and their people, man. And so you jakes that are following the philosophies of these heathens, man, you deserve whatever's going to happen to you, man. Because I just watched a video, while I was, listening to it while I was working out, man. The San Francisco brothers, and it was a sit down. Hey, and like the brother said, man, the time for reproving Jake is over, man. Everybody knows about the Hebrew Israelites now, man. So you either are with it, you're not with it, or you're scoffing it, and